The 10 best air forces in the world. Much of that can stir up debates and cause one heck of a disagreement among patrons at any watering hole or establishment. Then again, life gets boring without such things. So, here's a look at the 11 best air forces in the world. Number 1. Number of new aircraft, but most of their very large troops are old. However, the quantity can have its own quality. Russia also has long-range bombers and several air tankers and early warning aircraft. It's just that they are old, and maintenance rates have declined since the Cold War ended. This is the Russian flagship aircraft used for defense of the Russian Air Force Su-30. Number 9. The South Korean Air Force has traveled far in the same time frame as China. The F-5 and F-4 have been replaced by F-16 fighter planes, and they developed the latest fighter aircraft with more sophisticated attack technology. The T-50 Golden Eagle, which is a very capable advanced trainer, has also turned into a multi-fighter on role too. Number 8. 20 years ago, the bulk of China's planes were copies of the MiG-21 Fishbed. Today, many of the planes are from the Flanker family, including homegrown versions like the J-11, J-11B, J-15, and J-16. China also has the indigenous J-10 and J-H-7, while also flying two fifth-generation designs. Number 7. India has won several wars, and also has some of its own plans in the past and present. India's Air Force fighter mainstay is the MiG-29. The MiG-29 is a super-maneuvering fighter, and deadly at the time. Equipped with an advanced AA-11 Archer missile that can lock the target system mounted on a helmet, a locking and observation system that was not owned by the US at that time. But this advantage vanished when the Pentagon introduced AIM-9X missiles with observers from helmets installed in 2003. In other countries in strengthening air defenses. The only reason they were behind the Saudis was their dependence on Russian airframes, while the Saudis and Japanese had F-15s. Having the flight arm of the second best carrier doesn't hurt. Number 6. Mitsubishi F-2 Japanese flagship fighter. Japan can rank higher, but they have limited themselves because of Article 9 of their post-World War II constitution. While they were expanding, the lack of real land attack capabilities was very clear. But they have air-to-air capability, excellent anti-surface vessels and anti-submarines. With 4 helicopter destroyers that are really small carriers, Japan can jump very fast. Number 5. The Royal Saudi Air Force is a subsidiary of Saudi Arabia's armed forces. RSAF has grown from a largely defensive military force to one with advanced offensive capabilities, and maintains the 5th largest F-15 fleet after US and Japanese air forces. In 1990, the Saudi Royal Air Force had good equipment, but there were open questions about how well they could use it. Today, they have increased gear, and they have combat experience. This 1-2 combination is enough to include them in the top air force.
Does anybody mind if this music's on loop? Kingsley Field. Team Chief, Staff Sergeant Sidon.
Number 4. The Boeing F-A-18 is a multi-engine carrier variant-based multi-role military fighter based on McDonnell Douglas F-A-18 Hornet. F-A-18E variants single seats and F-A-18F tandem seats that are bigger and more profitable than the F-A-18C and D Hornet derivatives. The Super Hornet has a 20mm internal machine gun and can carry air-to-air missiles and air-to-surface weapons. Additional fuel can be installed as many as 5 external tanks, and the aircraft can be configured as an air tanker by adding an external air refueling system. Designed and originally produced by McDonnell Douglas, the Super Hornet first flew in 1995. Full production began in September 1997, after the McDonnell Douglas and Boeing companies were incorporated in the previous month. The Super Hornet entered service with the United States Navy in 1999, replacing Grumman F-14 Tomcat since 2006, and served alongside the original Hornet. The Royal Australian Air Force, RAF, which has operated the FA-18A as the main fighter since 1984, ordered the F-A-18F in 2007 to replace the aging F-111 fleet. RAF Super Hornet began operations in December 2010. Marines really support the air very well. Not that they did not have an ace in their history, but the last air raids carried out by the Navy occurred during the Vietnam War. Then there are problems with their F-A-18, and the need to track airframes from boneyards. Number 3. This is a very capable, albeit small, force. The problem is a little becomes less and there are some uncomfortable gaps, including early retirement of their Harrier, which is a bad way to pay for the costs of the aircraft that won the Falklands War. The fact that a new Royal Navy ship must be deployed with the United States Marines says many things.
We appreciate it. ADS for testing. Shows the beat. Good try. More like.
Number 2. Israel has a good Air Force, mostly based on needs. Yes, airframes are American designs, but Israel has installed their own electronics on F-15I and F-16I aircraft, which are now the backbone of their military. Plus, their pilots are very, very good. Number 1. This is the most advanced plane in the military world. F-15 Eagle is an all-weather supersonic tactical fighter aircraft designed to create and maintain air superiority in battles in the sky. This aircraft was developed for the United States Air Force, and first flew in July 1972. The F-15E Strike Eagle is a variant which is an attack fighter which began to be used in 1989. The United States Air Force plans to continue using the F-15 until 2025. The Air Force and Navy have long been rivals, always trying to complement each other. But in this case, both are in a virtual bond. While the United States Air Force has no Navy strategic bombers, the Navy, based on its fleet, is far more responsive. Both services are free and each is very good at what they do.